Do you worry about making lots of, well, do you think it's something that's just part of who you are? You think it's something you can't really do anything about? Well, that, my dear, is utter nonsense. And this episode will help you speak more fluently and confidently without all of those, Welcome to the Clever Together Communication Podcast, where together we're getting smarter and more intentional about our communication for a more productive career in an increasingly international workspace. I'm Corinne Wilhelm, and I'm an international business communication coach, ensuring that smart, non-native speakers of English secure the recognition and career that they deserve. So I've been working as a ghostwriter, presentations trainer, communications coach, and even a media trainer for over 20 years now in 5 different countries. So as you can imagine, I have had my fair share of If I earned a penny or a cent for every and that I heard, I would definitely be a millionaire. But who wants to be a millionaire anyway, right? So instead, let me share some practical tips with you in case you're playing small because of those and ahs. Now, not every conversation can be planned for, but as you become more experienced in your role, it will get easier to anticipate what will be discussed and which questions are more likely to come up. So putting aside some time to plan and have some well thought out answers ready is a logical first step. Now, this might not seem like a priority amidst the myriad of other tasks that you have, and probably not too interesting either. But you're listening to this for a reason, and if you want to sound more professional, then some planning is non-negotiable, I'm afraid. So when I first joined Toastmasters at the beginning of the pandemic, I soon noticed that one of my biggest challenges or mistakes as a speaker was saying "so" all the time. And I'm sure you've heard that before on this podcast. So this, so that. It was my alternative to saying and ah. It's not any better though. What I needed to do was to embrace silence as a communication tool. The time when people tend to and ah the most, I find, is when they're going from one topic to another. So if there's not a natural, smooth link to the next topic, those pesky and ahs can move in for a party, making you panic and stutter and stammer and steam as you desperately search for something, anything other than or So if you're using bullet points, then don't forget to include your bridge from one topic into the next. I found that helps people a lot. Now, no matter which language you are speaking, or even if you are getting to grips with the industry or even company lingo, complete with ghastly abbreviations and terminology that makes your mind spin, the tendency is to speak too fast. It's a nervousness thing, so it can often come in tandem with that nervous laugh. So what can you do to slow down? So I've just done it again, look, you see. So slowing down is easier said than done. But if you don't slow down, you are giving yourself less time to think and your audience less time to process what you are saying. Now remember, they might well be hearing it for the first time, so they might need a little bit of time to, kind of get their head around what you're saying. Especially if, as many of my clients are, have quite a complex area of specialism or zone of genius. So if you speak fast in your own language, then the chances are that you are losing people's attention a lot more than you realise or would like to admit. The trick is to practice on a daily basis. Try speaking in a deeper voice. This tends to demand more time and has more impact on people into the bargain. Did you hear the difference there? So practice with your dog, the partner, your kids, the shopkeeper, and see how it feels to go deeper and slower. When I was learning German, I used to rush words and miss out essential letters. One of my favourites was to rush past the Ü in Brüder. So I would be so focused on the R, the rolling the R, I learnt in Bavaria, and Ü straight afterwards, that I got in a complete tangle. It just took a bit of practice, but now I say Bruder. Sometimes this happens with words too. They disappear in a spark of panic, and then you look up to see a sea of faces completely confused. Not good for the confidence, I can assure you. And remember, when you are speaking and feeling nervous or self-conscious, to really use your voice to accentuate what you want the audience to focus on. Instead of saying, there is a strict no-blame policy in this organisation that is boosting how teams and working together in the corporate culture as a whole is benefiting, which, quite frankly, didn't do it for me, you can really use your voice. See if you can hear and feel the difference. There is a strict no-blame policy in this organisation, and that is boosting how teams are working together. Corporate culture as a whole is benefiting. No ums, no ahs. Voice actors learn how to mark texts to add in this voice inflection, because we all know and reject robotic voices, so we need to humanize our own. Finally, relax. What's the worst that can happen? If you know your stuff and you speak with passion and precision, people won't even notice the ums and ers. Those things become a lot more noticeable if it's clear that you don't know what you're talking about. People's opinion of you can soon topple if you waste their time with fluff. If you do dig yourself into the ums and ers graveyard, stop. Gather yourself, look at your audience, focus on them, not you. Smile and continue where you left off. That actually makes you approachable because you are being considerate of your audience's need to understand you. Just powering through at a rate of knots is dragging your reputation into the gutter. So don't let ums and ahs hold you back. Work with the tips that I've given you and go for it. Practice in private, perform in public. Record yourself speaking. And remember, don't put yourself under even more pressure by running out of time in your speech. Time yourself, and that will give you a confidence boost too, because you know that it's doable. So to summarise then, plan like a professional, learn to love silence, slow it right down, use your voice intentionally, and relax. I especially would like to encourage the women listening to go beyond your fear of not being able to articulate yourself properly. The stage is dominated by white male speakers, and we owe it to our daughters, nieces and granddaughters to provide relatable, approachable role models. What's your communication savvy call to action for this week, do you think? Well, I would like you to rise to the challenge, a 3-minute speaking challenge. Choose a topic that you know everything about. You know this topic inside out. It can be something as ridiculous as how to load the dishwasher. Or it can be something quite serious that you can use at work, like how to hire the perfect team member. It's completely up to you, but create a written outline with bullet points, not forgetting those bridges between the topics that I mentioned, and record yourself giving the speech. You will see automatically at the end of the recording how long your speech was. What do you notice about silences? Were there any? Did you have any bridges? Was your voice going up and down, or was it dull and monotone? If you're feeling brave, send it to me. I'll not share it with anyone, and I certainly wouldn't share it on this podcast, but then I can give you some feedback. So, thank you for joining me today. If you would like to join a club where we practice things just like this together, then check out the English Speaking Experts Club at Bite Sized English. The first 6 people to sign up will receive an awesome corporate communication package that you will receive by post. Something that I will be packaging personally with clever together love and a handwritten letter. Very British. So take care and remember to be the very best communicator that you can be. You've been listening to Corinne Wilhelm on the Clever Together Communication podcast. Take care now.